go. All right. Yeah. Yeah, we don't want it crackling. That thing right for us, man. Make sure that thing good for us, man. Make sure we got some sound. Yeah, your mama a goofy, nigga. I hear you. Welcome. Oh, yeah. We about to get it cracking, man. You dig? How everybody feeling, man? We all right? We in good spirit? Yeah, I know. Said Sharpie sound like a box of Newports. Maybe, but your mama said it's the smoothest voice she ever heard in her life. Oh, man. It's crazy last night, man. Had a good one, man. Had a good birthday, for sure. But now it's time to get back to work, baby. You know, got an interview today. My man, Joe Cubero. You know, the professional X. I definitely want to pick this dude's brain, see what he on today, man. So we're going to have us a nice little rendezvous, man. You dig? Let's see what we on. What's up with you, my man?
What up, bro? What's up? What's up?
How you feeling? How you feeling? Hold on, let me get you adjusted here for everybody. Get you going. There we go. So where we can see you. Joe,
Yes, sir.
what's going on, brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing? How you doing?
Man, my bad. I was a little late, man. You know,
Nah, you good, bro.
late
I
start,
understand.
but I'm here with you.
I understand. Shit happens, bro. It's cool.
Yeah, man. So I definitely want to dive into this, man, because you know how I want to get this interview cracking off the dribble, man. You know, I really do appreciate you for sliding through, even spending some time with me, man. Just giving me a few minutes of your time. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
just wanted to let you know I appreciate you first and foremost. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But let's go ahead, let's dive into this one, man. You know, because you go by you've built a brand around the name Professional X. What is the story
Yep.
behind that title, and how did it come to define your work?
So basically, man, I had always wanted to get in entertainment. And a couple years ago, probably almost 3.5 years ago, I had just finished getting out of a fucked up toxic situationship.
Yeah.
And I was venting to one of my homegirls, and I was like, "Yo, I'm not doing this relationship shit again. Like I'm starting to feel like a professional ex-boyfriend."
Yeah.
And she knew that I always wanted to do, entertainment. So she was like, "That's it," and I was like, "What's it?" And she was like, "The professional X." And I just was like, "You want me to call myself the professional X? Are you kidding me?" And she was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Women will eat you up. They already love you, so it'll work." So on New Year's Eve, 2022, going into 2023, I had only had 726 followers on IG at the time. And my page was as regular as it comes. I had just pictures of my daughter and my friends and me out drinking.
Right.
So I decided to post a voiceover reel of a Migos song that was trending at the time. And when I woke up the next morning, it had like 1,600 views, which isn't anything crazy. But for me, only having 700 followers, it was enough to give me the motivation to keep going. So I started with voiceovers, man. And honestly, I didn't even intend for it to get where it's at. But it just kind of took off, and I did the voiceovers for a while. I hit my best reel at the time was like 55,000 views, like a month in. But I just started doing like 3 to 5 reels a day, because it was distracting my mind from the bullshit that I had just ended with. So for me, it was more of a distraction at first. And then I'd say probably about 7 months in, I dropped a reel. And at that time, my reels were doing about 12,000 views. So I hadn't went viral yet, in my opinion. Like for me, 1 million views is viral.
For
So
sure.
I was actually at a wedding on a first date. A girl had asked me, "Hey, I'm going to this wedding," and it was our first date. So I was like, "Yo, this is either gonna go really good or really bad, but fuck it." So I'm at the wedding and my phone is just blowing up. And I'm like, damn, what's going on? And the reel I had posted 2 weeks prior, which it was a voiceover as well, I had it saved and I just decided to do it. I didn't even like it. I sat on it for like a week and it basically what it said, the caption was, when you want to skip the gym, but you got to be the fine X,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And at that point, I hadn't even changed my Instagram name to the Professional X yet. I was still going by my old name, which was just my initials and my birthday. So I'm at the wedding and my phone's just blowing up. And I look at it and the reel had went from 12,000 views that morning to 150,000 views by like 6 o'clock at night. So I was like, oh shit. So over the next couple of days, it hit 1 million. But I wasn't really satisfied with that because it was a voiceover.
Right.
So I was like, damn, I kinda used someone else's work, but I just voiceovered it, I'm like lip synced it. So then I started doing my own original content and then those went viral and now fast forward, I got over 100 to 150 videos that have went over 1 million views. I'm just shy of 600,000 followers on Facebook, at about 330,000 on Instagram. I don't really post on TikTok enough. The algorithm over there is a little tricky. Some days my reels will do 22,000, some days they'll do 100. So I don't really post on there. On Facebook and Instagram, I'm most consistent.
Joe, I ain't gonna lie, Joe. I like the game that you give it on, like just even coming up on like how to even make reels, how to kind of get things popping on that, you know what I'm saying, on that note of just social medias and things, because
Yep.
there's people that always want to know how to get on. Like this right here is a piece of a blueprint, you know what I'm saying, that people can really pick up and learn something from.
Man, I'm telling you, like when I got started, I've been doing it on New Year's Eve this year. It'll be 3 years. And I used to post on TikTok back in like 2016, 2017. I'd post on my story, but I ain't really had no followers. I had like 30. And
Yeah.
the people that followed me were like, Joe, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, this is your lane. I just didn't know how to break into it. But I didn't know anyone doing social media like that was really like blowing up. So everything I've learned has been through trial and error. But whenever someone asks me for game, I give it to them. Give
Yeah.
them the game because ain't nobody give it to me. You feel me?
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
respect that 100%. Can we get some some context on the ex relationship that you felt like was kind of hindering,
So
that pushed you, I'm saying, that pretty much catapulted you into this?
So my last serious relationship, the one I'm telling you about that just kind of was like got me doing these, was just a toxic situationship. It was like a year. But my last real relationship was just about 5 years ago. And I was with the girl for 4 years. I had planned to start a family, bought a house, everything. And she did
Did it
some
the right
shady
way. Did it the right
yeah,
way.
man, I was, I was trying to do the family man shit, and she pulled some shady shit, and I broke up with her 2 weeks before Christmas without no hesitation. I just put her out, because I'm a firm believer that once your intuition hits, you got to trust that. Fast forward 6 months after I broke up with her, I found out that she was supposed to go to Puerto Rico to help her mom because her mom had some shit going on.
Okay.
And fast forward, I ended up finding out she went out there with her ex-boyfriend, right?
Mm.
So I didn't know any of this when she got back. I just knew something was off. And when I tell you something was off, I couldn't even hug this woman, and she had been gone for 7 days. Like it was like a barrier between us that wouldn't even let me touch her. So
Mm.
within a day of her getting back, I ended it. And honestly, that's what kind of I had it was like a rebound situation after that. And that's what kind of just made me be like, yo, I'm not going to do another relationship until I feel one, I'm completely healed, and two, until I feel like she's the right one. Because every situation I got into, I posted a reel the other day and it said that healers need protectors and protectors need healers. You know what I'm saying? Or they're supposed to be together, right?
I agree.
But I always ended up with people that needed healing on top of myself needing healing as well. So it was never gonna work. You know what I'm saying? We was on a dead end road and it always ended up being toxic and falling apart. So I took this time over the last 4 years to really just find myself, find my purpose, and it's worked out for me, man.
That's crazy, man. You said you had to put her out.
Yeah, dude, I put her out 2 weeks before Christmas, bro, and that was tough because, like I said, I was in the mind space of, we was locked in. I was thinking about going ring shopping and shit the next year because I've never been engaged and I've never been married, so that was gonna be that next step. I bought us the house because her mom was sick and my dad was fighting cancer. So I was like, our parents are gonna need to live with us pretty soon, at least one of them. So we're gonna need that type of space. So I went and bought us the house, and shit went sour. I put her out. I kept the house for another year, but it just ended up being too much space for just me and my baby girl. So I sold the house, brought my ass back to Tampa, and it's
Yeah.
been popping ever since. You feel me? you
I mean,
know?
it's unfortunate, definitely, when you trying to transition, but I feel like you, especially with the last situation, you say it was toxic because you was trying to you were trying to heal. She needed healing as well. Yeah, that'll
Yep.
never work. You know what I mean? Especially when you
Nah, at
probably needed a
all.
shoulder to lean on for a second. Just a man
You
need that
feel?
every now and again. So I agree.
Well, I think that nowadays a lot of people, instead of taking the time to heal
Hmm.
and figure out what they truly need and want, they just find the next person to lean on and they just jump right into that shit without healing. You know what I'm saying? So now you in another situation and you ain't give yourself adequate time to really get past the last situationship. So you trying to figure out who the person is you with while trying to get over the person you was with. You know what I'm saying? And
Right,
that's just
right.
you ain't taking 5 6 months or anything like that. You ain't really giving yourself that much time. So I this time around, I knew that I needed that time to myself to just really figure out what the fuck I wanted, you know?
Yeah, you didn't want to
Yeah.
really bleed on to the next.
Yeah, exactly. I just knew when the next one came around that I was gonna be the best version of myself, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
You've created a space that gives a voice to people in a specific stage in their lives. What's the biggest lessons you've learned about relationships and healing from your audience?
I think that just being I have a lot of people reach out and ask for advice, and they ask for advice because they're in certain situations. So I've always been someone that loves to help. Just like I told you earlier, when people ask me for game, I'm giving away game that people charge for. They selling courses for,
For
but I
sure.
ain't I ain't the course dude.
Yeah, me
So
neither.
yeah, I have people that reach out and based on their certain situations. Like I had a girl reach out the other day and she was like, I've been dealing with a guy that I've met his whole family, and he says that we really close friends, and that he never sees us together. And now he has a girlfriend and he's obsessed with her, but he still wants to keep me close. What's your advice? I say you need to end all communication with him because as long as you stay in a space where he has access to you, but he don't want you in that fashion, you ain't he once he sees you in a certain light and you ain't that light of being his main woman, you ain't never gonna be in that light. So he just gonna continue to use you in that cycle. So if him and that girl broke up tomorrow, you gonna be right back in that cycle. I said, so until you decide to cut it off, he gonna use you as need be.
Yeah,
So for
yeah.
me, my biggest lesson is that for people that are going through breakups or that are in the middle of healing, to take the adequate time and figure out who you are and what you want and learn to love yourself because a lot of people you'll hear this all the time. I can't wait to find the person that I'm supposed to be with. I can't wait to find love. And it's like you find love within yourself. And I heard Will Smith say this one time and it made so much sense. He was like, to put that type of burden on another person that they're in they're basically responsible for you loving yourself or for your love. That's a lot of burden to put on someone else. So the way it should work is you should love yourself, I should love myself, and we should come together and love each other. you
Yeah.
know. But if I'm responsible 100% for you feeling loved, that's a lot. That's a lot to put on a person, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So I would say that anyone that's going through something, they need to take the adequate time to find themselves, to love themselves. So when that next person does come around, you don't fuck it up by expecting too much out of them.
Right. Right. I agree, man. You know, and I have to go back to what you were saying earlier. Like, sometimes you do got to cut it off because, like you said, she'll end up being in limbo, and that hurts worse than just getting away from it and ripping the band aid off.
Exactly.
I
And you
agree.
know, I done made so many reels. I made one the other day, and it was like people love comfortable lies over uncomfortable truths. And I'm the type of person, fuck that. Tell me the truth. It's gonna hurt either way,
Either way.
but I'd rather it hurt now than hurt more later. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
When
saying?
you're more
So
when you're more
let's
invested.
get the hurt over with.
Right, when you're more invested. I get that. Like when now, yeah, get it out the way. Let's rip the band-aid off.
Yeah,
Show
man.
shame the devil.
It's gonna be the inevitable regardless. So we might as well
Yeah.
get it over with.
Yeah. What's the most valuable lesson you've learned about yourself since becoming the professional ex?
That a lot of people can relate to my story, and that there are a lot of people out there that are going through the same things I'm going through or that I went through, you know. So I'm not the guy that, you know, is super flashy or anything like that, and
Yeah.
not against anyone that is, you know, because
Was that
everybody's
a
their
jab
own
at me?
different person.
Was that a jab at me, Joe?
Huh?
Was that a jab at me,
No,
Joe?
no, no, not
Was
at
that a
all,
jab
man.
at me, Joe? I was
I
just
love your
messing with you.
style,
I was
bro.
messing with you.
I love your style, but for me,
Yeah.
I just built my brand on being relatable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like the guy that you could see walking down the street. Like
Yeah.
my followers see me at Target, they
Yeah.
see me at the gym, they see me getting gas. You know, I'm just a regular dude that's been able to build a brand, but I got a lot of life experience, and I'm able to articulate myself in a way, but I'm also able to keep it on a level where people can relate to it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm out here down talking people, you know. I can give a motivational piece, I can give you some fitness shit, or I can straight up give you some raunchy nasty shit, which is what the algorithm loves, you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
you know how it go,
No,
man.
for sure. When you're outside, I got a question for you. It's just a personal question. When you're outside, because it's happened to me, people be like, they'll stop you and be like, "Hey, man, give me some game." Like right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, say somebody walks up on you. Have you ever had that happen to you? Like somebody walk up on
Yeah,
you and
you
say,
know,
"Hey, Joe, give me some game, man." Like professional X,
you
can I get
know,
some game? This happened.
recently I had a guy, you know, last week. He had said hi to me in the parking lot of the gym, and then he saw me in the gym the other day, and he was like, "Yo, you mind if I get a session with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, all by all means." So I let him work out with me, and then while we working out, he's just telling me that, you know, he was dealing with this chick, but he seemed like he was overextending himself. And I said, man, don't do that. And don't make yourself so available. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like the
agree.
more available you are to her, the less available she's going to be for you. So let her show the same interest that you showing. If you the one always reaching out, if you the one always sending the first text, if you responding as soon as she texts you, you ain't gonna get the response you want out of that woman. So I
Right.
said, fall back a little bit and see if she reach out to you, see what type of interest she got in you. So honestly, if anyone ever asked me for any game, you know, I basically ask, in what sense? Like, what do you have going on? Because then I can give you some specific information.
Yeah.
But if you just asking me for like generalized game, I'd say focus on. I made a reel the other day. I say focus on your purpose, stay in the gym, and don't be so accessible. You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
ain't got to go on a date with every woman that wants to go on a date with you. You know, you need to have a little bit of mystery to yourself. So you need to turn some dates down. You
Yeah.
know, you ain't gotta be all out there like that. You ain't gotta. If five girls want to go on a date with you, you might only go on a date with two of them. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because then that builds your value. If you always out on the scene, like I worked in nightclubs growing up. I went through the fire academy. I worked in brokerage, but I was always out partying and on the scene. And ever since I started doing this, I fell back because now I was already known in my city, but now I'm more recognized. Like I'll never forget, I had like 30,000 followers, and I went to Cali for the Kanye and Drake show that they had. It was a one night Kanye show for Donda, and
I
I'll
remember
never
that.
forget. I was at the gas station getting some L's, and this lady, I had walked up on her a little quick. I was like, my bad, mama. And mama is like one of my catchphrases. And she turned around and was like, pulled out her phone and was like, I follow you. And I only had 30,000 followers. So for me, that was a little shocking, but that was the first taste of like people knowing who I am and shit, you know?
Yeah, that's dope. And back to what you were saying about availability too. Like, you're right, man. Because a lot of chicks. Why would a chick want to be around you if she knows she can always have you? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like if she knows you always available, and like I said, man. I mean, I'll be doing nothing, but I'm always doing something. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yo,
always, even when I'm
even when
not,
you ain't busy, you busy.
I'm busy.
You feel
You
me?
know what I'm saying?
And
Yeah,
that's what
for
I
sure.
told him. I say, even though you might not be doing something that everybody else considers busy, that you might just be on your purpose. You might be working on you. You might be at home reading a book. You might be at the gym. But guess what? You busy in your sense. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So if you ain't got that time to step out on that date, then that's all right. She gonna have to understand that. And if she's really interested in you, she'll be available when you are ready to go on a date.
I think people need to stop looking. What do you think? Like, stop searching.
Dog,
Sometimes the
I
best things
swear
come to you.
on everything I love, every relationship I've ever been in, I wasn't looking for it. It found me. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I've never been that sucker for love dude that was out there. Any girl I met, I'm thinking, oh, she might be the one. It was never like that for me. It was like, if I got in a relationship, it was because it just felt right at the time, but it definitely wasn't ever something I was looking for.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree with that one, man. That shit, because I'm like, I see people they want a relationship so bad, but then they catch themselves constantly over and over again, going through a cycle with somebody, ending it, going through a cycle with somebody, ending it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you got to figure out if there's something that you're doing. Is there something around you that's going on that you keep attracting these kind of people? You know what I'm saying? What kind of energy are you putting out? You know?
And man, you just hit the nail on the head. I'm big on energy and frequency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whatever you are putting out there is what you are attracting. So if you coming across as desperate and you need people, that's what you're going to attract. Is
Needs
people
a
that
bad
also
word.
need people.
Needs
There you
bad.
go.
That's a
You
bad
know.
word. That's a cuss
See,
word.
when I kick game to a woman that I'm talking to or I'm dealing with, I say, listen, I'm self-sufficient. I take care of me and my daughter. I was raised by my dad. I clean, I cook, I do everything. I go outside, cut the grass, do everything.
Right.
I don't
Conditional.
need you. If I have you around, I want you in my life. But I don't need you in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a want for me. Because when you find yourself needing someone, once that need is fulfilled, you often see that person is going to be gone. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when people are constantly looking for their soulmate or they're constantly chasing something, those are the people you see have 8 loves of their life in a year. Every person they meet is the love of their life.
Man,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
think it's crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's kind of, and what do you think about this? Because you were on the verge of getting married. Do you think it's kind of crazy, Joe, for people that have been married 2, 3, 4 times?
Man, look, I ain't even gonna lie. My pops done been married a handful of times,
Yeah. Yeah.
but my dad is just one of those hopeless romantics, and he comes from a different era,
Yeah.
You and I, we close in age. I think you just had a birthday,
Yeah. I
right?
just turned 38.
I, hey, happy belated, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
I turned 40 in June, so we come
Okay.
from the
Happy
same
belated.
timeline.
Yeah.
But I think that with our age group, we're more emotionally intelligent when it comes to realizing and doing that inner soul searching to be better. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Whereas the older generation, they just kind of stuck in their ways,
You feel like
and
I don't mean to interrupt because you're on a good topic here. Like, do you feel like our generation is emotionally detached?
I think that we don't get as attached as quick, or at least some of us. I mean, there's always those people
For sure.
that as soon as they meet someone, you know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and that was a part of my reel the other day. I said, yo, stay on your purpose. There's some of y'all meet a woman, y'all stop going to the gym, you stop getting on your purpose, you make her your whole life. And then slowly but surely, she loses interest in you. Because all of a sudden you was this busy motherfucker when you met her, but now you ain't got shit going on and you're always available. So I think that it needs to be a slow process on how attached you get to someone because that also scares people. You know what I'm saying? If all of a sudden you want to be at someone's house every night, every night, every night, you want to be up under them every day, and y'all been dating a month, it's like that person might not be ready for that, but you so ready to get attached. But I also think in the same sense, our generation is just more aware of what's going on because we got information at the tip of our fingers. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had to do a lot of unlearning in my life because
Explain that.
just watching,
Explain that
because
unlearning.
so basically it was, I learned a lot of things from my dad's relationships that I thought were normal. Like I thought arguing every day was a normal thing. I thought that was love. You know what I'm saying? I you know, I thought that talking about breaking up once a week was normal,
And getting
you
back
know?
together by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
they done they done packed their shit and unpacked it 3 times this week, you know?
That's
And
old school shit, man.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I had to, and my dad's Cuban Italian, you
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just there was a lot of unlearning I had to do. My dad was very young when he had me. He was 16, my mom was 16, so they were kids raising kids. And that was one thing I had to learn as well, was to give your parents grace, because we expected them to be these perfect parents, but they were literally still kids learning how to be adults, learning how to raise kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I can't fault him for some of the shit that I learned from him, but it's on me to be aware of the shit that I need to unlearn in order to have a successful relationship, because just because that's what it looked like doesn't mean that's what it is, you know?
Yeah. Don't you agree though? Like I think all of us adopt some of our parents' traits even without wanting to. You know
Oh,
what
most
I'm
definitely.
saying?
And you do it inadvertently. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
And
So
catch
that's when
yourself even doing it. And you'll catch
yeah,
like, man, why am I
exactly.
just sounding like my people? Or why did I just do something just like them? You know?
And that's why I told you I've taken these last 4 years to really get to know myself and to really unlearn a lot of shit. Because if I go into my next relationship doing the same toxic behaviors as the previous ones, I'm gonna be motherfucking 44 years old and single again. You know what I'm saying?
It's not
And
a
I
good
don't
look.
want that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not a
it's not
good
a
look.
good look. You know, I mean, granted, I got my little girl and I'm an amazing father, but still, I want that. I want that cohesive family unit. I want to be able to show my daughter that I got it right. You know what I'm saying? And thus far, I've gotten it right as far as raising her and being present in her life, but I haven't gotten it right with that one stable, successful relationship just yet. But I haven't lost hope on that, you know. So that's something that's still very much in the back of my mind, is to have that family unit, you
Yeah,
know.
you gotta be careful who you bring around your babies too, man. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man,
Because you know, I don't. And the only reason I say that, for me, I just wouldn't want my kids asking if me and this person do split up, and now you know my kid then got attached to you or whatever, then built a relationship with you. It hurts more to hear my kids say, "Hey, where's Whoopty Whooper?" Like, you know what I'm saying? It kind of fucks with you a little
man.
bit.
To be dead ass honest with you, that was another one of the reasons that I broke it off with the girl that I thought I would marry, because you know when someone gets in someone's ear, they start talking different. You know what I'm saying? And we was 3.5 years in, and all of a sudden she on some, I don't want to help raise someone else's kid no more. And I'm like,
Red flag already,
yeah,
immediately,
I'm like, I'm
immediately.
like, you choosing an opportune time to pull this
Yeah,
shit. I done bought
immediately.
us a house. You know what I'm saying? You
That's
talking
crazy.
crazy. So after so much of that, I started weighing everything, and then the thing, what happened with her going to try to help her mom, but it didn't end up being that.
Right.
So I moved quickly, bro, and I'm a Cancer, so it's like we're a light switch. You know what I'm saying? Like we could love you with all of our heart today, and you could be dead to me tomorrow. You know, and that's exactly how we move. So that's how it was with her. Like when I cut it off, it was over with. Like because it had been a process. But yeah, man, I think that when you are trying to build a life with someone, there has to be a lot of understanding and there has to be a lot of communication.
Especially when there's
You
kids
know,
involved.
yeah, and you made a good point that I'm so hesitant about bringing my daughter around people. Like I've met women that 2 weeks into knowing them, they like, oh, let's take our kids to the park. I'm like, let's not. You know what I'm saying? The fuck?
Just because I met your pussy don't mean no, we need to
Yeah,
meet the
like
kids.
just,
I might have met you in a sexual format, but it doesn't mean we need to meet the kids. We need to meet the kids just yet, man.
yeah.
Like, let's slow it down some.
Honestly, dude, it takes me, and it's not necessarily a time frame. It's more of a feeling.
Feeling.
But
It is.
in my head, there is at least 4 or 5 months of me getting to know you, because you know everybody on their best behavior in the beginning. Don't nobody want to say the wrong thing. Everybody, trying to please
The
you.
mask is
But
on.
after you,
The mask is on.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the mask is
So
on.
after you cross over that 4 or 5 month period, then shit starts to get a little bit more real. So you get to see, y'all have had a chance to see what makes each other tick. Y'all might have had a few disagreements by that point. And for me, that lets me know if I really want to bring someone around my daughter or not. And there's been shit. I mean, since I've been doing the professional X shit, it's been 2.5 years. I've met plenty of women. I've brought two around my daughter, and that was, and that's, and it's like, it's very hesitant for me because, like you said, it's easy for me to move on and unattach from you. But
Yeah.
my daughter is gonna be more attached to you because she really want to see her dad happy.
Yeah.
And then if that woman got kids, now she like, oh, can we go play with so and so? And now I gotta explain to her, don't ask about her no more.
And
We ain't
that's
gonna be seeing
awkward.
them no
And
more.
that makes it
Yeah,
awkward
man.
between you and your kid.
And the older my kid gets, like my daughter's 12 now, so it's like she gonna be 13 soon.
So it's a
The
little
older
easier
she,
now. It's only getting a little
yeah,
easier.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like the older she gets, the more she's starting to realize shit. You feel me? She's starting to catch on to shit. So now my daughter can look at a woman and tell me if she like her or not. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Because
right.
kids get a vibe that we don't get.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
bias. We bias because we might like having sex with her, or we might like hanging out with her, or we have a good time around her.
Right.
The kid ain't got no
No
bias.
attachment.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I think that you really got to pay attention to your kids, because the situationship I had, my daughter really didn't like her. You know what I'm saying? But because I did, I used to tell my daughter, oh, you're tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why you act like that towards her. But the girl would always tell me, your daughter's always giving me this weird look, this sideways look. After it all went down, I was like, damn, I should have been listening to my daughter the whole time. I swear to you, bro, my daughter is like my little guardian angel present in front of me, because she ain't never steered me wrong in that sense. But because they're kids and they don't have experience, we're more prone to like, you don't know what you're talking about, or we
Right.
just brush them off. But you actually got to listen to them, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for sure. Especially if they trying to tell you like, hey dad, it's something just feels weird. You know what I mean?
You
Like
know?
they might not know exactly how to word it to you,
Yup.
but they're just saying, hey, I just feel like something's off. Like, you know what I mean? So I agree.
Yeah, man, and
I agree.
especially if this person's gonna be present in their life. And don't get me wrong, my daughter has a mother. We split my daughter 7 days on, 7 days off. We've been doing that for 10 years. We ain't never went to court. We don't do no child support, none of that
That's
shit. We ain't
live.
never got the people. Yeah, we ain't never got the people involved. And you heard me refer to her as my child's mother.
Mother,
You will
yes.
never hear me refer to her as my baby mama, because I feel like that's a derogatory term. When you hear someone call they baby mama, it's usually because they ain't on good terms. You know what I'm saying? Or they got some animosity still there. Someone's still bitter. With me and my child's mother, we had our riff when we first split, but we on great terms now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she don't need a mom. You know, she ain't one of them kids that's dying for a stepmom. But like I said, she wants someone in the home that's around her daddy, that's making her daddy happy as well as him being happy. You know?
100%. Another question for you. What would you say is the biggest misconception about men when it comes to heartbreak and healing?
I think that when men feel heartbreak, we shut down, and a lot of women think that we don't care. But I think that's just our way of protecting ourselves, because it's already hard for men to put ourselves out there. It's already hard for men to be vulnerable, because men were taught men don't cry. You got to be tough. You got to tough it out. don't talk about your feelings, keep that shit in, all that. So it's like when we actually take the time to open up to someone and be vulnerable, and then we get burned, you know what I'm saying? We become a shell and it hardens us a little bit. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It took me up until about the last 6 months to a year to even want to even entertain a woman in the sense of being in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because for about 3 years, I'm gonna be dead ass with you. After the situation where I had to kick the girl out before Christmas, I was like, yo, I don't want nothing to do with a woman in a serious sense. We could fuck, they could go home, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We could go on some dates, we get some food, that's it. But I didn't want to put myself in a position to be vulnerable and get burned again.
Right.
So I think the biggest misconception with that women when they look at men when we walk away is that we don't care, but it's not that we don't care. It's just that it took so much for us to even put ourselves out there that we ain't even trying to show you no more emotion. You don't get no more from that. You don't get no more from us in that sense. You know what I'm saying?
That's real shit,
Yeah.
though. I agree.
Yeah, bro.
I
Yeah.
agree.
You know, I mean, any man that's really, I think when you get to our age, bro, you've at least had one real heartbreak. You've at least had one girl that really drug you through the mud and really taught you a serious life lesson, and you move a little more cautious after that, you know.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think the biggest misconception is that men don't care, that we're dogs, or that we want to be players, or that we want to be out here just running through women. But it's just we really don't want to take the chance of getting our heart broke again. So we rather just protect our peace, protect our heart, and keep y'all at a distance. You know what I'm saying? We out here doing the Heisman on their ass. Like,
I
nah,
think,
you got.
yeah, I think that's what makes a lot of dudes, just keep running through women because they're like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna just, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna take nothing serious anymore. I'm gonna just stay running through bitches.
But to be honest with you, bro, I think that men are the romantic species. You know what I'm saying? We're the romantic species. So it's like once a man has put himself out there, like I saw a reel a few weeks ago, and a dude had he had dressed the hotel up for his girl, fuck put
I saw
balloons
that.
all
I
in it,
saw that
everything,
one. I
bro.
saw that one.
And dog, the shit was so heartbreaking. And I was like, it's shit like that that will never make a man want to do that
She
for
was
another
like,
woman.
she said, I'm glad we got some liquor because it's gonna be a long night. I'm like, what the
You know
hell,
what I'm saying?
sweetie?
And I saw another one where the girl ain't even show up. She stood him up and like was cheating on him. And this dude had bought her. She had a company or something, some type of company she was running. He had her company shirts laid out that he had made for balloons and roses all through the room. And the dude was literally in tears cleaning it up. And he was like, "Never again." So it's like it's fucked up because men will put themselves out there, but all it takes is that one good time to get burned, and we become stone, bro. We don't ever want to do it again. You know, that's all it takes is one time, and we don't never want to feel that shit ever again.
Yeah,
So it takes a
women will
lot.
keep going. Women will keep going and try to find. They'll always try to find it. I feel like when a man
Well,
really shut that shit down, he really shuts that shit down, homie. It's like a sense
Chris
of
Rock.
embarrassment we feel. You
Yeah,
know?
like damn, I got played, bro.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like how dare you do this to me? You know what I'm saying? When I gave you my heart. But I remember Chris Rock said it on one of his stand-ups. He said, women, dogs, and children are the only things that get unconditional love. Men are expendable and exposable. A
For
woman
sure.
will expend. She will get rid of you and find another man.
She already got him
Whereas
waiting
you
before
know
she gets rid of you.
they usually have the option on the back burner before you even done with, because it's often said that a woman leaves the relationship mentally before she leaves the relationship physically.
Physically, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas men oftentimes, I mean, you look at the divorce. Women are, I think, 50 or 60% of the ones that initiate divorce nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not to say that these men that are getting divorced by these women are innocent, but these dudes are probably blindsided. You know what I'm saying? They think they're on good terms, whatever the case may be. But them men often walk away saying, I will never get married again.
Well, when a chick's about to make a move, they usually keep it cool so they can get done what they need to get done. You know what I'm saying? If they're sitting there
Because they
causing
plotting.
problems, yeah, if they causing problems with you in the mix, you're giving him a one up. You know what I'm saying? Doing that. So that's when they
You
just
feel me?
blindside you. Shit, you could have went to dinner with her last night, man. Man, had made love to her, whatever, and then by the time you hit work, you're being delivered divorce papers.
You know, are you getting that
You never
we
know.
get you getting that we need to talk text?
Yeah,
You
we
know what I'm
need to
saying?
talk straight up.
Like damn, you could have told me this shit before I took you to dinner last night, you know? Like and that's why I say I'm not one of those comfortable lies type of people. I'm the uncomfortable truth type of person. Like if you tell me we need to talk, I'm picking up that motherfucking phone right then. Like I'm not waiting till you get home. I
Yeah.
need to know.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
not the
want to
one
wait
that I
all
don't.
day because you know what you're doing. You're allowing me to build my own narrative. Don't allow me to
Exactly.
build my own narrative if you really fuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, let me
man.
know what's up. Don't just be like, I don't
And
know how to tell you this. Can we just talk later? All that extra bullshit. I'm cool on
nah,
that because what
tell
that
me
tells me
now.
is you ain't trying to fix the fucking problem, really.
Yeah, and I'd rather know that sooner than later. We ain't got to discuss. We ain't got to go back and forth. Just tell me where you at, and then I'm gonna move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, all that waiting and being uncertain. Like I don't mess with uncertainty at this point in my life with friends, family, or relationships. If you are, I'm so certain about everything I want in my life, from the content I'm doing and the branding that I'm building and how I want to move with that, to the type of woman I want, to how I want my family to look. And
Yeah.
it's like if you aren't on the same page as me, that's cool. It ain't no hard feelings, but
Right.
I
Of
got to
course
keep
not.
it pushing. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. With no disrespect.
Exactly. No, at this point in life, bro, I don't even got no animosity towards no one. I'm just grateful for everything that is happening for me. And if we ain't meant to be, we ain't meant to be. But I'm not about to have any animosity towards you. Just don't be wasting my time.
Right. What's your views on toxic masculinity?
I think that for a while there, toxic masculinity was getting bad. Everything was considered toxic masculinity. Like I'll never forget. It was the same year that Cam Newton played in the Super Bowl against Peyton Manning. So however long ago that was, but Gillette, the razor company, had put out a commercial.
Yeah.
And it was simply 10 dads lined up at a barbecue grill. Like they all hit a barbecue grill in front of them, and their sons were playing in the front yard just wrestling with each other. It was considered toxic. And they were like, oh, boys will be boys. But Gillette had specifically labeled it as toxic. And I was like, damn, like, we can't even be men no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that the word toxic masculinity gets thrown around way too much. The word narcissist gets thrown around way too much. You know what
Every
I'm
day.
saying? You rarely hear women call another woman narcissist. You rarely hear the words toxic femininity. You know what I'm saying? When a lot of these women is out here raising their daughters to chase men that only got money and not love, that's toxic femininity at its finest. Now,
Teaching
I
them to
will
get married
say
for all the wrong reasons, have babies for all the wrong
exactly,
reasons,
you
and none of
know,
the right.
and I'm not
Yeah,
saying that toxic masculinity does not exist, because it very much does. If you're in a
for sure.
relationship where your man is whooping your ass in front of your kids, or he's disrespecting you in front of those kids, that is very much toxic masculinity. The way you treat your child's mother or your baby mama, for that sake, that could be considered toxic masculinity. If you are teaching your kid anything other than being righteous or handling himself in the utmost way and becoming the best version of himself or herself, then yeah, that's toxic masculinity. But
Yeah,
I think in one way, shape, or form, if you have a father that was in your life and he's old school, you gonna learn some toxic masculinity.
for
It's
sure.
just that old school shit. That's how it was. I
That
mean,
shit gets
a lot of
embedded.
a lot. You think about the '60s and the '50s, them motherfuckers used to slap women. You know what I'm saying? And that shit used to
I
happen
think
often.
I think that shit stopped in 1994.
You feel me?
93 or 94 is when it was, yeah, you can't be doing that shit.
You know, there was a
If I'm not
shift.
mistaken.
And it's like a lot of people grew up in that era. So it's like they thought that was normal and it was very toxic. So I think that toxic masculinity does exist, but I don't think it's to the level that everyone makes it seem. Like there is a lack of real men nowadays. Like they want to emasculate men, and they want men to be super feminine. They want the man that's carrying the purse. They want the man that's painting his nails. They want the man that's basically acting like women damn near. And I'm not with it. I come from an old school pops. You know what I'm saying? Like I just like no
I'm just paying
bullshit.
attention. I'm like, bro, for real, he's serious about that shit.
Like I can't get with it, bro. And if the universe or God would have ever blessed me with a son, I'ma raise him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like there are certain things that men do. Like, yo, I open doors. You know what I'm saying? I make sure the woman walks on the inside away from traffic.
Yeah,
You feel
not
me?
the outside.
So
I
it's
do
like,
too. I'm like that too.
yeah, you know, and that's just gentleman like shit. And it
Yeah.
don't matter if we on a first date or I've been dating you for 4 years.
Bro, it could be
I'm
a woman.
opening.
It could be a woman walking into the store. I'm gonna hold the door. She ain't even gotta be mine. It's just a respect factor for me. Like, you hold the door for women. You know what I mean?
Bruh, dead ass, I got into some words one day with a butch because I opened the door for her. I opened the door. I opened the door for her and her girlfriend, right? And she gonna find herself, you don't need to hold the fucking door for me. And I was like, yo, I'm just trying to be a gentleman, man. I don't want you or your girl, but you ain't got to come at me like that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because
yeah.
you want to be a man so bad
That
that
you're
a man can't
intimidated by
even
one.
hold. Yeah, that you actually intimidated by one that's being a gentleman. I could have let that shit slam in your face, but I held it for you. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's like a lose-lose for men out here. But like I said, man, you do right and you lead with a good heart, and that's all you can really do, man. People gonna have their opinion, whatever. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
They either gonna hate you or they gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
And that's what. And one of my biggest inspirations for doing content. I don't know if you follow Will or Gillian Wallow, right?
Yeah, I'm actually, Wallow's a good friend of mine. I interviewed him
Dude,
a while back.
Wallow is my main inspiration for doing content. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was watching him right after he got out of prison, and just the fact that he still says it, record your content, post your content, post your content. He's like, it's 8 billion people in the world. You only need 200,000 people to fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? To actually have a movement, to actually do something. And when he was saying that, I wasn't even posting none. I had 726 followers. Now I'm approaching 330,000 followers. You feel me? So it's just to see someone serve that amount of time and technology passed him by. You feel me?
Yeah.
That man went in jail when it was no cell phones, got
Yeah.
out when
Yeah.
it was iPhones.
iPhone.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, and if it was cell phones, it was like the ones right after the beeper. You feel me? So it was like it
Had that
wasn't
brick.
yeah,
Had that brick.
it wasn't no forward facing cameras, it wasn't no FaceTime, it wasn't no none of that shit. There wasn't even no social media when this man went to jail. You feel me? So it's like for him to be able to see the success he's had through hard work and grind, like you can do nothing but respect that. And that
Sure.
just goes to show that we can all achieve whatever the fuck we want. But you got to put that work in, man.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And I think that shit, it really matters, homie, because it's like, even with Wallow, like, look at his story. He got out with $700-800, bro, and a plan.
You feel me?
And stuck to his plan, man. That's my homeboy, man. I got nothing but love for him. I got to sit down with him
I
again.
got the video saved. I got the video saved in my save folder on Instagram where he's sitting there and he counted out $1,000 on his bed in his
Yeah, it's like
grandmother's
1,000.
basement.
Yeah, it's like
He was like, I'm
$1,000.
gonna turn this into 100,000. Right here, I got the game. I wrote the game down. He had his shoes stacked up in his grandma's basement and shit. And it's like, man, that dude, all he had was a plan and motivation and ambition. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Whereas a lot of us don't even realize we have so much more opportunity in front of us than he did.
Yeah.
But he made it happen, But
Yeah.
everybody wants shit given to them, Like I'll have people reach out to me about doing content. And like I told you, I'm an open book, bro. I'll give you the game. And I'll tell them, look, you need to start out by posting 3 to 5 reels a day. Start there and make sure it's your content and it's organic and you are relatable to it, right? Man, they'll post one reel over 2 weeks and then be like, I don't know why I ain't getting no traction. Cause you ain't putting in no fucking work, man.
Consistency is key.
And with the algorithm, that's the biggest thing, because it takes a little while for the algorithm to even recognize who the fuck you are. You know what I'm saying? But once it does, you got to keep putting in that work. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I'm almost 3 years in. I posted 3 or 4 reels today. You feel me? 3 or 4 reels yesterday. I still got the same work ethic I had when I first started, you know? And it's like a lot of people ain't willing to do that. A lot of people don't have the consistency. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like they want something, but they don't want to put in the work to get it. All they see is the finished product. They see the success. They don't see, man, I couldn't sleep the other night, right? So I woke up, it was 3 in the morning. And I've always read that if you can't sleep between the hours of 3 and 6, that's the universe trying to give you a message. I wrote 10 reels down that night. I have filmed those 10 reels since that night and posted all 10 reels, and people don't see that. People don't see the sleepless nights. People don't see when your money's tight, because social media don't really be paying in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, it take a while to start having Facebook pay you. It take a while. Instagram don't even really pay like that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Facebook pays a lot more.
Yeah, they do.
But it's like it take a while to even see some real money, or to see. I felt like when I was at 100,000 followers, brands should have been fucking with me.
Yeah.
But guess
Yeah.
what? Now the brands are starting to fuck with me because I got a little bit of longevity. I have proven to people that I'm gonna show up every day and no one has to tell me to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna produce this content every day. I'm gonna come up with new concepts every day, and no one has to motivate me to do it because it's my passion. And a lot of people want to do this, but it's not their passion. You feel me?
Right. I agree, man. That's what I think people need to stop doing, is wasting their time on shit that you don't plan on really doing anyway. You know what I mean?
I come from corporate America, bro. And like I said, I played high school ball, went to college, played college ball, went through the fire academy, was class president of the fire academy, then went into brokerage for 10 years. I was a freight broker, so I shipped freight all over the world.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I was making a great living, but I didn't like the fact that someone could tell me, no, you cannot pick your daughter up early from school today. No, you cannot go to her recital tonight. No, you cannot take that vacation time that you want. You know what I'm saying? No, you cannot come in late today. I didn't like the fact that someone else had control over my time.
Yeah.
So this gives me the ability to not only have financial stability in the way that I want it, but it allows me to own my time. Like right now, a lot of people on the East Coast, they in bed getting ready to go to their job tomorrow. Me and you
You
rapping
working
because
right now?
we've built our own lane to where I could sit in my living room right now and chop it up with you, and I don't got to worry about no consequence if I wake up late tomorrow. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
So that's an amazing feeling
Of
when you
course.
build something from scratch and you able to own your own time. And I think that's the ultimate freedom. Don't get me wrong, financial freedom is amazing, but when you have the freedom of owning your own time, man, you can't put a price on that.
Right.
Especially when you got kids.
Especially when you got kids. I
You got
definitely agree.
kids?
Yes, I do. I do. I
What
got
you
two.
got?
I got a boy and a girl.
Oh man, see, you
Yeah.
lucky. If I had it my way, I'd have a boy and a girl. But I got my baby girl, man, and I'll tell you, you could relate. There's nothing like a daughter's love.
Man, I'll tell you what, man. I feel like it's definitely a different love that they have for their dad than they do for their moms. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like girls, they kind of, they want the dad's respect. They want him to look at her. You know what I'm saying? Your daughter wants you to look at her a certain way, so she moves a certain way. You know what I mean? That means
Yeah.
that she cares about your opinion. You know what I mean? So yeah, I
Well,
do
you
agree.
you you also her first love, and
Mm,
you her first representation of how a man's supposed to treat her. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's why even when me and my child's mother decided to split,
Mm,
I demanded that we get her 50-50. I demanded that we do 7 days on, 7 days off, because I wanted equal influence.
mm,
I wanted to be in her life just as much as her mom was in her life.
mm.
You feel me? So now my daughter's about to turn 13 soon. And my biggest fear when me and her mom first split was her not knowing who daddy was. And not that her mom was going to be having a whole bunch of motherfuckers around her, because that ain't how she moves. But still, she was so young. She was 18 months old. She wasn't even barely speaking, to where another man coming around, that could cause confusion. And even though I couldn't tell her mom, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, that's her life. I wanted to be able to establish that I'm daddy. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
wanted that time with her. Now, like I said, she 13. She was calling me right before this tonight, like, Daddy, when's it start? When's it start? You know,
Yeah.
so it's like that's a great feeling, man,
Yeah.
when you have that bond with your kids, you
No,
know?
for sure, man. Hey, absolutely. I think that's what it's a piece of what keeps me going. You know? It's a piece of what keeps me
Bro,
going, for sure.
for when I see these dudes out here that got kids, man, and they ain't motivated and they ain't got no drive, or it's like, bro, like,
It's not just you anymore.
how do you look in their eyes and not want to get it? How do you look in their eyes and not want to find a way? I don't care if you got to go work construction. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you got to do to get where you going. But show them kids, man, like hard work can get you somewhere, no matter what avenue you decide. Everybody can't do content. Everybody wants to do content, but everybody ain't built for this. And
Yeah.
just simply alone, you're putting yourself so far out there. You're sharing so much of your life. Some of these comments sometimes, bro, I know you done had some comments in the comment section, bro. I mean, right when you posted the flyer for this on YouTube, it was a dude that went on there and was like gay because you was about to interview me. I wanted to say something to him, but I was like, you know what? I don't engage like that no more because I've had the reels that were more shock value
Yeah.
and people try to eat me up in the comments. And when I
Yeah.
first started, I used to be defending the shit out of myself, arguing with a
Yeah.
thousand motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But now it's like I don't got the time for that no more because it's just draining my energy. And I'm gonna never talk to these people ever in my life. I'm never gonna meet these people. So why am I gonna invest time to defend myself to people that are just literally trying to get under my skin? And a lot of people ain't built for that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you gotta have thick skin to even just get in front of this camera right now and
For sure.
talk into it.
For
You
sure.
feel me?
For sure. For sure. Let's reel it back in a little bit. I got another question for you. I want to know this one
Bet.
for sure. Like, what is the biggest risk a man takes entering a relationship versus a female?
I think being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Like definitely putting yourself out there and putting your heart out there. And then I think that when it comes to getting married, like I said, 60% of the divorce rate nowadays the divorce is initiated by women, and the court isn't often in the man's favor. You know what I'm saying? I've seen my dad lose everything in a few different divorces. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest risk is having to start over, because if you decide to take the chance to get married and you're the breadwinner, you're going to be starting over. You know what I'm saying? Because you either going to be paying. I mean, we see it all the time. It's very rare that the woman ends up paying the man. Celebrities, whatever the case may
Yeah, it's
be.
very rare.
The man, he lose 401k, he had to pay alimony, he
Yeah.
paying child support.
Hell yeah.
He end up having to move back in with moms, you know what I'm saying? Whereas the woman, she just move on with the next motherfucker that could take care of her if that's her caliber. Not every woman needs to be taken care of. Some women are very self-sufficient, you know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
But I think that that's one of the biggest risks is your financial stability. And just like I said, women want to be loved, so do men, but it's a little bit harder for us to accept love. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you come from backgrounds like us. Like I know I come from a background where I come from a place of survival. You know what I'm saying? Whereas there's other people that are raised on a place of love. So when a person from a place of survival meets a person from a place of love, it's very hard for that person to accept love.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like why I've told that to girls before. They want to love me so quick, and I'd be like, why you want to love me so bad? Like you don't even know me. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it's like, don't this type of shit take time? You know what I'm saying? But for
It
some
should.
women,
It should.
it should,
I mean, it should. Yeah.
but for some people that come from loving households, it's just their nature to love people. You know what I'm saying? And to show love. But for us that come from a place of toxic environments and urban environments, love ain't shown so easy. You know what I'm saying? So when a motherfucker want to show you love so quick, you almost like, whoa, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's a big thing for men as well is being able to accept love from someone, because oftentimes we just feel like is this a dream? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on here? Because where I come from, people don't show you love. I mean, you probably know in your own experience, you got homies that probably ain't never shared a story, never shared one of your videos, but when they in your face, they your people, but you quick to share other people's shit. I got family members, friends that till this day have not shared none of my shit. But I
Call
got
him
people
out,
that
Joe.
fuck.
Call him the
Bro, I
fuck
got,
out.
I got people, but I got people that I will never meet in my life that consistently share my shit. But then I got homeboys that share every one of my things, every one of my videos, every one of my reels. So it's like that's something you also got to get used to with doing content is the people that you think are gonna support you oftentimes ain't gonna be the ones. And like, let's say when I started my clothing brand, Professional X, I gave away 50 hoodies. Not one of the 50 people that I gave a hoodie to went on my website and bought some shit. But I sold 100 hoodies to 100 motherfuckers I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? And that's typically how the game go. You could turn a stranger into a customer before you could turn a friend into a customer. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
And I'm not knocking that, like a lot of my friends are in relationships and I get it. They girls don't want them walking around with a sweater that say the professional X. Like they just
I
don't
get
want
it.
that energy.
I understand. You understand. Like it
And
is.
so
I get it.
I never take it personal, but not all my shit's toxic. You know what I'm saying? Some of my shit is motivational. Some of my shit is hitting the gym. You know what I'm saying? So you can't use the old your shit's toxic excuse with every reel that I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to double back on your question, man, I think that when it comes to men, our biggest fear is putting ourselves out there and getting played or putting ourselves out there and someone breaking our heart again. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it puts you in such a dark place that you don't want to have to climb up out of some shit like that again. Because oftentimes, if you ain't mentally right, you're going to do a lot of destructive shit to get up out of that hole. Now, me, on the other hand, I've taken the time to learn who I am. So if some shit happens to me, I rebound quicker because I'm past the destructive phase. You know what I'm saying? I'd
Right.
rather go to the gym. I'm not going to go to the bar. I'll go to the gym. I'll come home and read. I'll write some content. Whereas other men haven't done that searching of themselves. So they revert right back to their toxic traits. So it takes them a little longer to get back to ground zero. You know what I'm saying? Just to be able to try to find love again.
Yeah. I agree, man. That's definitely an interesting outlook. I can't lie. I like that though. That's live, man. Tell me, Joe,
Yeah,
because I need to
man.
know what's next for the Professional X and where can we find you?
So you guys can find me on Facebook. I'm just about to start my podcast on YouTube. We're gonna be launching that here pretty soon.
Okay.
And shit, in return, I'd like to see if you want to come on mine and
For
ask you
sure.
some questions.
For
Once I
sure.
get that up, I'm gonna definitely reach
We can
out.
get it cracking.
But yeah, for sure.
Gotcha.
I like, man. My biggest belief is I don't. Just based on your energy, I feel like we come from similar backgrounds where we come from a background where everybody is competing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
For sure.
People ain't collaborating.
No.
Where the people
Absolutely
at the
not.
you know what I'm saying? Where
Absolutely not.
when you look at some of the most successful people, they typically collaborating. Whereas the people down at the bottom is competing and it's like a crabs in a bucket mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm so willing to give someone game. That's why I'm like, yeah, I'll come on your podcast. Come on my podcast when I get it popping.
For
It
sure.
ain't no. I'm not trying to compete with your podcast. I'm motivated. You know what I'm saying? Like other people look around and get jealous and get envious. I look around and get motivated. You
Yeah,
know
me
what I'm
too.
saying? So what's next for me, man, is I want to try to enter the acting space and just the
That'd be
branding
dope.
space. Like I'm about to relaunch some hoodies here pretty soon, so I want to get my clothing brand back popping, and I just want to continue to build my brand to a space where I can be a more household name. Like I want to. I've slowly tried to gear away from some of the real toxic reels. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm using the super nasty language because that's only so marketable. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these big brands don't want to take a chance on that,
They don't.
especially with how we look. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
for
saying?
sure. Yeah, they're
Like,
not so
you,
quick to
you know,
jump to
yeah.
that.
So for me, I want to take those next steps to get into that acting space. That's always been a dream of mine, you know, just to be in entertainment in itself. And honestly, when I was talking to my friend that night and I told her, yo, I want to get in entertainment, she was like, you need to build up your IG. And I was like, man, I got 726 followers. What you talking about? She was like, figure it out. You always figure it out. So now that I've built my following and I've got a consistent following and a loyal following, I think that I can do whatever I want at this point, man. I just gotta stay passionate about it and make sure my heart's in it.
Well, Joe, I appreciate you for sliding through. And like I said, if you ever want me on over there to get it cracking, hey, get it, you know what I'm saying? Just get some motion going. Just let me know, bro. I'm a phone call
Definitely,
away.
man.
And let me
Hey,
know if
and
you're
if
ever
you
in Vegas, man. Shit, holla at me. I
shit,
got you.
I actually got a dude that I follow out there that invited me to come do some workouts, and I got some partners out there that want to do some business. So I'll probably be in Vegas sooner or later. And if you ever in the Tampa Bay area, man, let me know because it's my city. So we could chop it up. We get together. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I appreciate you for your time, man. It's been a blessing and an honor just to sit down with you and just kick some real shit overall for the people so they can hear some real shit, man. Because it be too much drag going on these days, man. You know?
Yeah, and honestly, bro, that's what I try to base my reels on is just real relatable shit, you know, because
Yeah.
there's so much bullshit out there that people ain't giving them to it real, you know, and that's how I built my following. And it's funny how people attract to you. Like when you first getting started, you don't know who's gonna follow you, how your following is gonna go. But my following to begin was 60, no, at one point it was 80% women. So
Yeah.
that's when I knew I was on to something. I was like, oh, if I'm talking about relationships and shit
Yeah.
and the women gravitating towards me, it took the fellas a little bit longer to get on. Now it's like 60-40 because you know men are the ones they hate quicker. They be like, oh, he don't know what the fuck he talking about. It take other men backing you up for men to be like, oh shit, he do know what he talking
Making
about.
some
So
sense.
now I got a pretty good mix, but yeah, man. I look forward to interacting with you again sometime here soon in the future.
I got you. You got my number, so just lock me in, bro. And
I
anything
sure
that
do.
you
I
need,
already, I already saved it, brother. I appreciate you.
anything that you need, just let me know, bro. I'm a phone call
I'll
away.
let you know when I touch down in Vegas, bro. Hopefully we can link up.
All right, peace and love to you, Joe.
I
I
appreciate
appreciate you.
you.
Sure. Well, that was an interesting one. I like that one. That was smooth. Yeah. And don't be trying to call none of them numbers neither. Them is all from interviews. So you ain't gonna get a hold of no damn body. I appreciate everybody for chiming in. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate Joe too. He was cool. I fuck with bros. I really do. Well, shit, he probably wants some calls. Shit, you know? Hey, call Joe. You want some relationship advice? Call Joe, man, for real. He got a little bit for you. I hope you guys enjoyed that one, man. It was definitely intriguing to sit down with him because he had a lot of knowledge and a lot of game to pour out. So, you know, I do appreciate him. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all later on tonight. I'm about to go get something to eat, game. I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? So, and this water ain't cutting it. So, I love you all. I fuck with you. I'll see y'all later on, man. You dig?